Hello, welcome to Non-Inkables. So this video is going to be a rank list of all the princes that are in Lorcana. And it's actually a video that I've wanted to make basically since I decided we should have a YouTube channel. That was like one of the first things. I was like, ooh, we can make a video where I rank all the princes. Kind of delayed though because I wasn't sure, one, how to do the presentation part and also how I wanted to rank them, so what to base it on. If I wanted to base it on how good they are as cards, how good they are as characters on their own, and also how good the art looks. So I decided to kind of do a combination of all three, but mostly kind of based on their cards. So to be included in this rank list, they have to have prince as their one of clear classifications. So where it says like storyborn, hero, prince. So that actually excluded a lot of cards that I thought would be included, like a lot of the Aladdin cards, because he's not a prince for most of it. And so we'll go in alphabetical order. There are 13 princes total. And so we'll talk about each one. I'll give you some facts and my thoughts, and then we'll do a ranking at the end. Okay? All right. So first one is Aladdin. His only card is this one, Aladdin Prince Ali, storyborn hero prince, 2-drop, cost, inkable character, 2/2, and he has ward. I would say a pretty bad card. I mean, he has ward, so he does have something like special. It's not just like a vanilla card, but I've literally never seen anybody play this. And it seems pretty weak because you can play a 2/2 character for 1-drop. It doesn't have ward, but you know, he doesn't like, he quests, he's gonna die most likely. So I think he's a good character in terms of the movies, but in terms of his Lorcana presence, not great. So Aladdin as a character, probably one of the most beloved princes because he has a whole movie about him. He's not just like a side character in a princess movie. And he has, I think, 3 movies. So the original Aladdin, Return of Jafar, and then Prince of Thieves, like his wedding movie. And his look is actually based, he's supposed to look like Tom Cruise in Top Gun. That's what the animators say. Yeah, so I would say pretty bad Aladdin in Lorcana, okay? Not as Aladdin in general. All right, so next is Beast, and I'm not sure because I haven't done the official ranking, but I think Beast will probably be pretty high, if not the top of the list. So Beast, also known as Prince Adam, although in the movies they never ever referred to him as Prince Adam, so all the villagers call him the Beast, and then all the servants just call him Master. He's from Disney's Beauty and the Beast, obviously. He's supposed to look like a buffalo plus a gorilla plus a lion plus wolves plus bears, which I guess I can kind of see it. And what else? In his movie, if you look at the stained glass windows, it has Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella, which I thought was pretty cool. So in Lorcana, he has several cards. So there's this one, Beast Hard-Headed, 5 ink, 4/4 stat line. It has break. When you play this character, you may banish chosen item, quest for 2 lore. I actually have this in my Emerald Steel deck, the current version I'm playing, because he removes items and he's stronger than Benja. So for like later game stuff. So like early in the game, I would prefer to use Benja to remove like a Fishbone Quill if I'm playing a ramp deck. And then later in the game to remove Lucky Dime. So that's from Chapter 1. Chapter 1, he also has this card, Beast Wolfsbane. This is the only card in Emerald that has Rush. So if you want to like lull your opponents into a false sense of security that you don't have Rush, this would be the card. Although it is a 5 uninkable, so kind of hard to work in, and has a 4/4 stat line and a quest for 2 lore. And it also has Roar, so when you play this character, exert all opposing damage characters. I don't know, this card is like kind of meh. This card, weirdly, in the last couple booster packs we've gotten, we see this card all the time. I've pulled maybe 4 of them in the last few days after not getting them at all. So that's for first chapter. In second chapter, he has this one, Beast Forbidding Recluse, 4-drop, 3/4, quest for 1 lore. And it says, when you play this character, you may deal 1 damage to chosen character. So I mean, the damage is not a ton, but it could take out like a merfolk when you play it. And it is a playmat, so it's got that going for it. I don't think any of the other princes have their own playmat. And then there's Beast Selfless Protector, so 6-drop, 2/8, has shield another. Whenever one of your characters would be dealt damage, put that many damage counters on this character instead. So kind of like, almost like a bodyguard, where like you have to kill him first before you can damage any of the other characters, but just a different mechanic. And I have seen this every so often when I'm playing on Pixelborn, but not super often. And then the last Beast card is Beast Tragic Hero, aka Beast Sad Boy, or Emo Beast. And he is a 5-drop inkable card, 3/5 stat line, quest for 2. He's shiftable because he's a Floodborn. And at the start of your turn, if this character has no damage, you can draw a card. Otherwise, he gets +4 attack. And so I feel like I see this card a lot. The only downside is that it dies to Medusa. And it dies to Along Came Zeus. So I feel like whenever I play this card, it just dies. If he survives one turn so that I can get some cards and doesn't get injured, I am ecstatic. I'm just like, I don't care if I win the game. I'm just so happy my little sad boy beast is not dead. And I was thinking, he's Floodborn, but his outfit looks pretty much the same as in the movie, I think. And I based that on the fact that my dog has a Beast Halloween costume, and it looks like this, like with the collar, like yellow and blue. And the reason why my dog has a Beast costume is because his name is Wolfgang. So for Christmas, he was Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and it's like the same vibe of that, like frills. And this year, actually, my daughter we got her a yellow gown thing for her flower girl. And so when she was a flower girl, and so they're going to be Beauty and the Beast this year. So perfect costumes we already have. All right, so that is it for the Beast. The next, I lied. There's one more. Just kidding. There's also Beast Relentless. Okay, so he is a 6-ink, inkable, 4/5, and his special ability is Second Wind. Whenever an opposing character is damaged, you may ready this character. He quests for 2 lore. So essentially, you could attack somebody. They get damaged. You get to ready him. Attack somebody, so you could like repeatedly attack. Although at 4 attack, 5 willpower, he can maybe attack 3 things, I think, before he dies. Maybe 4 if you're lucky. Or if you're just attacking a bunch of merfolk, you could attack infinity merfolk. So that is it for the Beast cards. Next is Don Karnage, Prince of Pirates. He is a 5-drop inkable card with a stat line of 4/4. He's also a villain and a pirate. And he has evasive and he quests for 2 lore. If you ever watch my unboxing videos where I actually read the name of the cards, I always call him Don Karnage because I forgot. Because, I don't know, that's just how I read his name. Even though it's Don Karnage, I will say Don Karnage. It's kind of like growing up, I used to say, now I don't even know what the correct one is. Tiramisu? Instead of tiramisu, because I thought it was Japanese. Anyways, so he is a character from Tailspin. And he's like an air pirate leader and supposed to be like a Spanish, Italian, Caribbean guy. And he's voiced by Jim Cummings, who voices like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, and he did part of the song and Be Prepared for Scar, and he does like Darkwing Duck, and he voices a ton of things. I recently saw his TikTok where he's like, I'm a voice actor, and then he says like a line. So he did that whole thing. So it's Don Karnage. I think this card, I haven't really seen it in any constructed decks, although I do see it a lot in the seal tournaments that we go to because he's evasive. And so when you're just doing when you're just playing with like sealed cards, it's hit or miss whether you can get something that can attack evasive, essentially. All right, next one, Flynn Rider, aka Eugene Fitzherbert. So he is from Tangled, and he's probably one of my favorite princes. So he marries into being a prince. He is not born a prince like the Beast. And he is voiced by Zachary Levi, who is known for Chuck and also Shazam. And he is inspired by Han Solo and Errol Flynn, who is an actor. who was in Adventures of Robin Hood and Captain Blood. And so that's why he's Flynn Rider after Errol Flynn. And his design, so I guess the animators designed a bunch of different hot guys, and then they had all the ladies come and they had a meeting, and then the ladies were like, this guy's hot, this guy's not hot, and they basically voted and came to this. So yeah, so Flynn Rider, charming rogue, 2 ink, inkable, 1/2 stat line. His special ability is Here Comes the Smolder. Whenever this character is challenged, the challenging player chooses and discards a card. So this is a card I play in my Emerald Steel deck, one of the many cards that makes the opponent discard a card. Of course, it's only when he's challenged, so people get around it by playing like Ba-Boom or Let the Storm Rage On or something like another song. Next Flynn Rider card is Flynn Rider Confident Vagabond. It is a 1 ink, inkable, 1/3 stat line who quests for 1. I haven't really seen this card played just because I feel like when people play a 1-drop 1/3, it's because they want to play Teeth and Ambition, which is a ruby card, and ruby and emerald don't often get paired together. And then the last Flynn Rider card is Flynn Rider, his own biggest fan. It is a 4-drop uninkable card. Stat line is 2/3, and it's shift 2. So you could potentially play this on turn 2 if you play this Flynn Rider that's 1 cost, or you could play it on turn 3 if you play this Flynn Rider. And he is evasive, and also one last big score. This character gets -1 lore for each card in your opponent's hand. So you definitely need to play this with a discard deck, otherwise you're not getting 4 lore, you're just gonna get 1. Yeah, I did try to add him to my Emerald Steel deck, and I'm still testing that out. I don't know if I like it or not, mainly because I don't seem to get the card at the right time. Yeah, so I would say Flynn Rider overall pretty good, like mid to high mid in terms of his cards, and that's it. Next one is Hans. So he is from Frozen. He is the antagonist, which is not usually the case for most princes. And he is a twist villain. Spoilers, I guess, if you haven't seen Frozen. I saw Frozen in theaters. It was during the day, I remember. It was post-call or something, and the part where he's like, well, if only anybody loved you, I remember being like, oh, what a jackass, like right in the middle of the movie theater. There were lots of children. It's very embarrassing for me and the person I went with, because I did not see that coming, because I was not paying attention. I was too into the songs. He has 2 cards, I think. Yeah, 2 cards. So there's this emerald one, Hans Scheming Prince. It is 4 cost, 3/3, and it quests for 3. So it's a vanilla card, but it does quest for quite a bit of lore. And then he has Hans 13th in line, steel card, 4 ink, inkable, 3/3. Quest for 2 lore, and then you have Stage a Little Accident. Whenever this character quests, you may deal 1 damage to chosen character. So that's kind of like does not kiss Anna and leaves her to die, and it's like an accident. And it's very interesting because if you Google like Hans, it'll say he's 12th in line. So I just assume like 13th in line refers to the fact that he's the 13th brother, and so his dad is still king at that point. And then when the internet says he's 12th in line, it's because his oldest brother has become king. It's like later, so maybe movie 2. I haven't seen Frozen 2, so don't come at me. Yeah, so that is Hans. Okay, next hero is Hercules from one of my favorite movies. Technically not a prince, even though he's categorized as a prince because he is a hero and also he becomes a god. So really technically not a prince. Also weird is that he's called Hercules, right? And they're like, oh, from the Greek myths. But in the Greek myths, he was called Heracles. And in the Roman, he's called Hercules. So it's weird. But I think in pretty much all pop things about Hercules, they use the Roman name, even though they're always like, he's a Greek god. But he has several cards. So this first one's Steel, Hercules, True Hero, from set 1. It's 3 ink, inkable, 3/3, bodyguard, so he can protect all the other characters, and he quests for 1 lore. Makes sense he would be a bodyguard because he's a hero. He's trying to protect all of Greece. Next card is 2 ink, inkable, 2/3, vanilla card. He is Hercules, hero in training, and this shows like a scene from, so this first card is a scene from when he's doing the 12 tasks, because he's wearing the lion, who I believe is Scar. So in the movie, when there's the scene where he's getting painted, like when the screaming girls show up at his house, and like that whole thing before he goes on the date with Megara, when he throws it off onto the ground, you can tell that it's Scar because it's got the eye scar. Hercules, hero in training. This card picture is from when he's training with Phil, and it's always like lesson 1, da 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 da, lesson 562. So it's like an obstacle course he's doing, and this is the damsel in distress. And then there's Hercules, divine hero, Floodborn character, 6 ink, inkable, 6/3, but it has resist +2, so kind of like a 6/5. Except that if things that are weak attack it, it's really like basically neutralizes their attacks. And he quests for 2, and it can shift 4. This is a pretty good card, especially now that there's like Medusa and stuff. He can't be Medusa'd. And that is it for Hercules. Next card, Prince Charming. Kind of one of the main reasons I wanted to make this video, because this Prince Charming is the art. His face is so Prince Charming is actually used in a lot of fairy tales. He's most commonly associated with Cinderella as Cinderella's prince, but sometimes they call other princes Prince Charming as well. So this card, 4 ink, inkable, heir to the throne, 3/3 stat line, quest for 3, which is pretty high, so that's pretty good. But look at his face. I'm sorry. Look at this face. He looks like a doll. Like, it looks so plastic. I realize it's a cartoon, but still. So he is actually unnamed in the movie, because if you remember, yeah, they never say his name in the movie. It's just like Prince. And he's played in the live action. The only live action I've seen of the new live action remakes of Cinderella is Cinderella. And he's played by Richard Madden, who plays Robb Stark in Game of Thrones. And in the live action one, he is called Prince Kit. So that's that card. I would say points off just for his face. Looks so derpy. But he does have a purse. That's kind of cool. I thought he was holding a glass slipper, but it looks like he's just holding a triangle that's got swirly things around it. Who knows? All right, next is Prince Eric. So this is Ariel, Little Mermaid's prince. And he is probably one of the favorite princes, and he's supposedly inspired by the Adonis statue, so like the pinnacle of hot males in Renaissance, I think Renaissance times. And he is named after Eric Larson, who is one of the like 9 core animators for Walt. And Eric Larson worked on Lady and the Tramp and also Prince Charming. He is voiced by Christopher Daniel Barnes, who later voices Peter Parker and Spider-Man in the 90s animated series. And his ship is named Wanderer. So there's this card, 2 ink, inkable, Prince Eric, dashing and brave. Stat line is 1/3, and he gets Challenger, so +2 when he's attacking. And then this new card that came out in set 3, Prince Eric, expert helmsman, 4 cost, not inkable. Stat line is 2/2, and he has surprise maneuver. When this character is banished, you may banish chosen character, and it quests for 2 lore. So that's pretty good, because then you could either sacrifice him, and then you can take out one of their other characters you wouldn't be able to kill otherwise because it's too strong, or when they attack you, they have to deal with you choosing who you want to kill. And I think this, or who you want to banish, because it's Disney. And I think this is just, this move is in reference to the fact that he rammed that ship right into Ursula, even though she was gigantic. All right, so that is it for Prince Eric. Next is Prince John, also a villain prince like Pawns. He is from Robin Hood, and loosely based on the Prince John Lackland, who is the younger brother of King Richard the Lionheart from real life. And in the movie, he's portrayed as greedy, inept, and also a thumb sucker, as you can see. Sucking his thumb. So there's Prince John, Phony King, 5 cost, not inkable, 2/4. And collect taxes whenever this character quests. Each opponent with more lore than you loses 2 lore, which is pretty good if you need to catch up. I haven't seen this played very often, if at all. The other Prince John card is Prince John, Greediest of All. This is in my deck and also in like every Emerald Steel deck, unless it's playing Bucky. 1/2, so super weak, but he has wards, so he can't be targeted by songs or other forms of direct removal. And it has I sentence you. Whenever your opponent discards 1 or more cards, you may draw a card for each card discarded, and he quests for 2. I feel like he doesn't quest very often because he immediately dies or is banished. So he's just kind of there on the board so that you can make your opponent discard cards and you get cards giving you a card advantage. Prince Naveen, he is from Princess and the Frog. He turns into a frog for most of the movie. And in the movie, he is a talented musician. He plays the ukulele. He's very carefree, and he's like a playboy, so a party prince, and he is the Prince of Maldonia. I've never seen anyone play this card. It is a 3 ink, 4/3 stat line, quest for 1, vanilla card. Never seen him played. I hope he gets cooler cards because he's a pretty cool character. I feel like he should have like a singer, Prince Naveen the singer. All right, next, Prince Phillip. He is from Sleeping Beauty, and this is Prince Phillip, Dragon Slayer, 4 cost, not inkable, 3/3. He has heroism. When this character challenges and is banished, you may banish the challenged character. So he can just ram into somebody, and it doesn't matter how strong they are, they die. He also quests for 2. And he's supposed to look like a medieval European prince, which I think he looks like. And he gets the Sword of Truth and the Shield of Virtue, which are 2 items, I think in Ruby. And those are given to him by Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather, the 3 good fairies, who I hope become cards now that I think about it. So basically, he meets Briar Rose, aka Aurora, in the forest, falls in love with her. The fairies tell him she's a princess, and she's pricked her finger, so then he saves her because of duty and love and determination. Next is the Prince. So the Prince is Snow White's prince from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and he's one of the earliest ones. He doesn't have an official name really, and is sometimes referred to as Prince Charming, which is also Cinderella's prince. And he actually doesn't have any spoken lines in the whole movie. So this is the Prince, never gives up. He's a 3 ink, 1/3 bodyguard, and also resist 1 and quests for 2. So very protective, and I guess resist 1 because he's wearing armor. And then I think this is our last prince, last but not least, Simba, who also, like the Beast, has a bunch of cards. He is the main character in The Lion King, which is loosely based off of Hamlet. And he is voiced by Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Matthew Broderick from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And in the live action, he is voiced by Donald Glover, and his name means lion. Yeah. In Swahili. So Simba, rightful heir, 5 cost, uninkable, 3/5 stat line. I know what I have done. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 1 lore. So kind of like Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood does the same thing, but he gains 2 lore. And then he quests for 2. So not quite as good. And also not inkable. So I would say you're playing Steel, play Robin Hood. Don't play this. Simba, Future King, 1 ink, 1/2. Guess what? When you play this character, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. So basically, you can filter through your cards. He's played, I think, in the Pride Lens deck just because he's a prince. But other than that, kind of sucks as a character, as a card, I would say. And then last but not least, Simba, Scrappy Cub. 2 ink, non-inkable or uninkable, 1/1 stat line, quest for 3. So I would say probably in a hyper aggro deck, if you can bounce him, or you could play LeFou to ready him, so they can't be attacked. But otherwise, if they have steel, like a steel song or something, you're pretty much screwed. He's gonna die unless you can bounce him. So maybe in a Ruby Amethyst deck, but I don't know. Okay. Simba, Protective Cub, 2 ink, inkable, 2/3 stat line, bodyguard. I've seen this card played a lot in I think Amber Steel decks. He's just there to protect the singers because they're little weak babies. And he's only a 2-drop, so you can play him super early. So maybe he's just there to protect Cinderella. Maybe Simba is Cinderella's new prince. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, and then last one is Simba Fighting Prince. This is a new card from set 3. So 7 ink, but inkable. 5/7, so pretty strong. Step down or fight. So when you play this character and whenever he banishes another character in a challenge during your turn, you may choose one. So you can either draw 2 cards and then choose and discard 2 cards, or you can deal 2 damage to chosen character. So essentially, you can pretend you're Giant Tinkerbell. Yeah, those are all of the princes. So here we go. Let us rank them. I'm pretty proud of this little tier list that I made. It's so pretty. Okay, so we shall start alphabetically. Number 1, Prince Ali Aladdin. So remember, this is the one where he just has Ward. Pretty useless of a character. I'm gonna put him in E for now. Not sure. Next is my little beastie boy, sad boy. I would say S tier. He's in like every single deck that plays steel. And based on his pricing, he's an expensive boy. Don Karnage, I would say maybe a D for Don. Just because he does have that evasive and he's pretty useful in seal tournaments. But I haven't really seen him anywhere else. Flynn Rider, he's pretty good, you know, because he has 3 cards. He's got the one that makes your opponent discard a card, which is used in like Emerald Steel a lot. And then he's got that shift 2. So I would say maybe A. I don't think he's as good as Beast though. Next would be Hans. I feel like his green card quests for a lot, and the other card does do a little damage. So I think a little better than Don. Ooh, it looks like I'm making like an arrow. A little better than Don, but not like quite Flynn level. I don't know. Maybe put him here for now. I'm not undecided. Hercules, he's got hero in training. He's got that bodyguard, and then he's got this divine hero. So I feel like he's right up there with Flynn. Maybe a little higher. We'll come back to it. This Prince Charming, I mean, I'm putting him here. No regrets. Because of the art. Yeah. No other comments. Prince Eric, I feel like is pretty good, pretty meta right now. Let's put him here for now. Though he may get adjusted just based on, look at this dashing guy. Look at this dwarfy guy. Okay, Prince John I think is pretty good, right up there with Prince Eric. Prince Naveen is pretty useless. He also goes down here. Prince Phillip, he does have like bodyguard, and I think he can like banish chosen characters. So maybe here. And then Simba has like a ton of cards. And that new Simba's pretty good. So I would say he's almost like here. And then this one's bodyguard, but also has resist. Okay. I may have to move people around. Okay. So in the bottom, we definitely have Prince Charming and Prince Naveen because they're super useless. And then up one, we'll give Aladdin. I think I'm going to actually move. Well, no, I think Don can stay up here because he at least has like some, he's like a 4/4. So he has some strength and he's not a total weakling like Aladdin. But then I'm thinking maybe this guy can go to C because he does have resist and bodyguard. And then this one can also be up here. He actually has some of the similar traits as Prince Eric because they both have that, like I think Prince Phillip banishes whoever attacked you, but Prince John banishes, or Prince Eric, sorry, banishes whoever you want. So that's why Prince Eric's a little bit higher. Hans, I think can go here. He just does that little bit of damage whenever he quests. So I wouldn't say Hans is almost like, no, he can go here. Let's not do half steps. And then Prince John, I think is, I mean, he's kind of, I would say he's A tier because he is like a linchpin in the Emerald Steel discard deck. Beastie Boy is going to stay here, obviously, but I'm wondering if there's anyone I would have join the Beastie Boy. Let's see. I mean, Hercules. Let's see. Hercules, he has Divine Hero, which is 6'3" with Resist 2. He has Hero in Training, which is meh, and the other one is Bodyguard. It's kind of meh. I would say Hercules is still in this A tier. Flynn Rider. Flynn Rider is the one that gives me pause because he, like John, is pretty... His 2 ink card is pretty necessary in that Emerald Steel deck and Quest for 2. But I don't think he's as good as the Beast because he's kind of just in that, like, in those hyper aggro and discard decks, but not anything else, whereas I feel like Beast is in so many more. And then Simba, I'm going to put in B for now. I think Simba has the potential to become something more, but he just hasn't really found his footing yet. I think his, like, 7 ink card might become something more, but I feel like right now the only time I see Simba played is when people are playing Pride Lands and they need a prince in the Pride Lands. And then Beast, I think because he has, so many cards, like Tragic, Beast, Wolfsbane, Relentless, Selfish, Protector, all those cards, he has a mat, obviously top of the tier. Okay, so in the end, this is our ranking. S tier, Mr. Beastie Boy himself, Sad Boy Beast, Tragic Hero. In our A tier, Prince John, Flynn Rider, Hercules. In our B tier, Prince Eric and Simba. In our C tier, we have the Prince, Prince Phillip and Hans. In D tier, Dawn, D for Dawn, Karnage, not Don Karnage. E tier, Aladdin. And then F tier, we have Prince Charming, the most plastic of the princes, and Prince Naveen. And I really hope that Prince Naveen gets some cool songs in this next set because he's a pretty cool character in the movie. All right, so that is my ranking. Comment below if you disagree, which is fine. I wholly acknowledge that Prince Eric may just be ranked higher because I really like the art of this card. And as always, keep shuffling. Hopefully you don't end up with a handful of non-inkables like me. All right, bye.